Okay, so where we left off, you're going in two different directions, and you're going to be leading. Um, you, Serafina, and Savant, while Seren and Ithamore head towards the blacksmith that Shay had pointed out was a little different. Um, it's currently probably just mid morning at this point, 10 o'clock, as Aaron's awake at this point, so it would have to be. Uh,
Which part of the city am I walking through?
you're
Like,
going through the main thoroughfare, you've been, which is where the inn is.
are
And
there is there like a market and shops and stuff? Or?
it's kind of like a little market road. It leads pretty much straight up to the tower itself. And then there's a road that goes all the way around the tower, and then it
Okay.
splits. It's kind of like a interjunction.
Well, as I'm walking, Ulan would like to casually keep an eye out for a shop that sells baby carriers. Because now that there are two small people, I may need like a front and a back baby carrier situation going on, like with twins. So, there you go, D.
Thank you.
We're fine. I don't think we need one. Well, I don't need one. Um, Serafina, on the other hand, isn't down for it, apart from calling a baby carrier.
I didn't say that out loud.
Yeah, I was thinking, he was just saying he was looking out.
Okay, you're just gonna look out for him. Fine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Give me
you
a
said
give me a perception then.
I think we should call it Operation Halfling Shield. Perception.
Pretty sure there's some laws about that or something.
I don't find one.
True to form, Ulan is probably still munching on some morning bread. Um, but yeah, you carry on walking, leading the way to pretty obvious direction of the central tower. As it is mid morning, there's a bit of orange hue coming down from the glacier itself, kind of lighting up the structure itself, which is pretty normal stone, although there is very crude, almost chiseling into it of runic symbols. As you get closer, you can spot them out. You can easily reach the base in a couple 10 minutes, as it's a very clear path to travel, as it towers over all the other buildings in this area. Um, uh, yeah, when you reach the base, it's not very clear where the entrance is, as it looks like just smooth stone all the way around the base. Give me an investigation, and I'll do one for Serafina. Oh, never mind. 19. I don't think I even need to roll for something. I will, just in case. Plus, okay, yeah, you both land pretty well. Feeling around the side of this wall, you don't feel any way of cracks, but you do find one area which seems newer than the rest. It's actually shaped in kind of an archway, but it's still filled in and not looking very usable.
Hmm. Well, I mean, Seraphina's the one that does the research, and Savant is the person who thinks he can get us in. So I guess I'm like following that lead.
Well, I've never been here, so I can't really get us in if I don't know how to get in.
All right. Is there anyone around?
There's a few people walking about. It's mid-morning, so trade is moving about at this point. Shops are opening up. Um, it's very laid back here. There isn't a lot of people, as it's mostly caretakers of families, servants, a few actual tradesmen themselves, but no, just wandering around people.
Okay. Are there any tall folk, or are they all dwarves?
Um, from what you can tell, not many. No. Um, give me a perception just to see if you notice any out of place.
No.
Um, it's just a bunch of dwarves, really. There's a few gnomes about, but it's mostly just dwarves.
Are there any
Lots of
red-headed ladies?
bits. Down here, most of them. It's like a 40-60 split. Actually, probably 30-70 split of
Okay.
redhead to black.
I guess I'll just pick a random person and just like, excuse me,
What?
we're trying to get into the tower. Do you know who we should speak to? Where we should go?
You come all the way to the tower and you don't know how to get in.
Do I look
Oh.
like I'm local?
Oh, you're actually being serious.
Aye.
Well, you don't, because you need a pass to get in.
Aye. Well, I'm on urgent business for the King's Guild of Griffin. So
So then, where's your pass?
urgent business, like just urgent, like just now.
Unfortunately, I can't help you. I've got business everywhere.
Well, who could help me?
Well, someone that does have business here.
And where would I find someone like that?
By crossing your fingers and waiting. I don't know. Every few days, probably.
Right.
Have a good day. And he struts off down the street.
Ulan's gonna fold his arms and look at the tower again.
Okay. You look at the tower. Give me another investigation.
So,
Oh, yeah.
what does the tower look like? Is it like an ornate tower? Is it like a fortress tower? Is it a wizard's tower with a pointy top?
It's a strange mixture. It's definitely giving vibes of a wizard tower. However, it's very much a dwarven structure. And by dwarven structures, they're usually very fortified. And made of what looks like very heavy stone. The base itself is the oddest part, as it's smooth. The rest is brickwork of large, very cold white stone. The base is similar in color, but it's smooth.
Like it's polished, or
Almost like it's polished. It's more like it's been carved.
okay. So when you say white stone, are we talking like marble type stuff?
More beige in color.
Okay, so
yeah.
it's like it's smooth in the way that like a building made of stone is smooth, rather than like big chunky bricks.
Yeah,
Is what you're saying?
basically. Yes.
Okay. How close to it are we?
How close are you to it?
Huh? I was following the little people.
Well, they're just 10, 15 feet from it. It's a rather large road that goes around it. So
Okay, and it like so there's no obvious door or anything. The bottom is just
apart
smooth.
from this even it's hard to really say that it's different. You just feel that it's a little. Feel a very slight impression of an archway on one of the sides that you felt, which is currently where you guys are standing.
Okay. And you say higher up it's brickwork. Are there any windows?
Around.
Like higher up, like past where it's smooth.
Yeah, like way up, like probably 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 stories up. There's a slant window.
So like 50 feet.
No, this is dwarven structure, so this is
Oh, so it's absurdly tall. Okay.
yeah, it's every 15 to 20, so yeah, a good 100.
And you say a slant window.
Yeah,
Like-
it's a vertical slat.
Okay, right. And is it glazed or is it just like a hole?
From here, you can't really tell. You can see the window itself. You can't see if it's glazed over or not at this point.
Okay, well, first of all, Ulan's gonna walk up to the bit that looks different and just like knock on the wall, on like the arch.
Okay. You knock on the arch. Excuse me. Do you mind stepping aside there? I'm trying to get past. I wanted to meet for us. You're doing it wrong. Just pointing
Oh.
out.
All right, what? I'm new. I've not done this before. Would you? I
No
just
problem.
step aside and wave him to the door.
You turn around to see who's talking to you. And it's a human figure. Although slight Elvis features, particularly the ears and the face itself, of long black hair, loosely tied in the back, and wearing, which doesn't really look much of a robe, more looks like a it's a strange mixture of both robe and formal attire. It's a strange mixture. Although most of it is covered up by a thick winter jacket.
Okay.
Yes, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to. I can show you. And he steps to the side of the gnome and halfling, comes up beside you and puts his hand on it. And he's a decent 6 foot tall, maybe a little shorter. So you're slightly taller.
Well, I'm 6'8", so. I'm
Oh, then yeah,
significantly
you're
taller.
6 significantly.
Yeah.
And he puts his hand into the center of it. You see, it's an arcane tower, so you actually have to use some arcane to get through. And his hand glows very slightly of this faint white blue, which then glows into the wall itself. And the archway that you kind of felt previously begins to deepen into the actual stonework itself and begin to almost fade into the stone itself, creating the archway into the tower. Like that.
That's pretty cool. Is that like a normal thing, or is that I don't really know magic that much. I mean, is that do a lot of walls do that? Do I need to go around poking things now to make sure there's no?
If you wanted to try that on every wall, you would probably find some secrets. Although I wouldn't suggest that, otherwise you'd be wasting your whole life.
Poke all the walls.
That's why we have
Got it.
knowledge for, so you don't have to go poking all the walls. I didn't introduce myself. I apologize. I usually forget my manners. I am Archentile. Archentile Enzo Straticus. It is a pleasure. And you fine folks are...
I'm Ulan Uluava. This is my companion Serafina Weatherby, and this is
Savant.
That's it. I knew it was an S.
Pleasure.
He's new. I'm not good with names.
Lava. That would be from the monastery on top of the mountain range. The Azza Dragon.
I'm going to insight him.
Sure. What are you trying to insight from him?
Well, he seems to know who I am, so...
He knows your temple.
Yeah, but he said my surname?
Which you said as well.
Yeah. And so he recognizes the surname. And therefore knows I'm from the temple.
He knows the language.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I still want to insight him.
Alright.
Just be like, is he just like casually knowing things or whatever?
Give me a roll. Let's see.
What was his last name, by the way?
Straticus. I'll type it out.
An Archentile, was that a title?
That's his name.
Oh, okay. Is that with a C or a K?
There you go.
Ah.
Yes, I know a bit about everything, really. Now, what business did you have here? You don't seem to be one of the arcane knowledges.
Not if I'm from the Azure Dragon Temple, no.
Well,
Although,
especially if you're not from Berlin.
well, Serafina here is quite a proficient sorceress, but we're actually here seeking knowledge. A companion of ours was abducted from our continent by a band of drow and brought here. We managed to retrieve him, but we don't have the damnedest clue of what they're up to.
Do you always share information with strangers that you meet?
Strangers who are capable of opening magic doors and seem moderately helpful, aye.
Fair enough. Just don't tell everyone, because drow usually are... Well, you're in Griffin.
Well, most of the locals are dwarves, so I wouldn't put them in the category of helpful.
Summer. Phosphorus, for example. He's amendable for his services.
What was that
On that,
name?
actually.
What was that name again?
Thothras. There you go.
Have I heard that name before? Or is this the first time anyone's mentioned it?
That is the first time. You definitely haven't had that.
Okay.
Yes, I've only been here once before. But anyway, I take it you wanted to get in because of this knowledge.
Aye.
This is the Rune Library. Do any of you speak Dwarvish?
I do.
Well,
I'm not sure about anyone else, although
I believe Savant does.
I presume Savant does,
I
yeah.
think so, yes.
Does Serafina as well?
Does.
Yes.
Yeah, we all speak Dwarvish. That's probably why the three of us have come.
Splendid. That makes excellent sense. Well then, you can follow me in. For the time being, let's just say you are my students for the time being, so you don't get kicked out.
Lead on then, Sensei.
That is far too odd. Don't call me that, actually.
Alright, teach.
And he leads you in to the tower itself, which gets very dark very quickly, and then brightens up into almost a flash of light as it is not a tower. It's more of an actual building than a tower anymore. They're not round walls, they're square.
Has the wall closed behind us? Is it the wall even still there?
There is just a archway.
Is it like a solid archway? Like it was before? Or
It is a
it
solid
sort of-
archway, and it's kind of just black in the center of almost just like a tunnel that's completely blacked out. Oh, don't mind those. Arcing gates, they're exceptionally handy for, well, everything.
Right. That. I'm gonna just look at Seraphina and be like, is this normal? Is this weird?
Seraphina shrugs.
Alright.
It's definitely not normal for me. Well, it's a rune library. You don't expect us to store most of the dwarven runes in a tower.
I don't know.
Well,
I went to the Mage College in Cliffridge, and that was a big tower full of cool stuff. So I mean,
the Arcanum College.
I
There's still more than meets the eye.
am sure there is, but I mean, like the lifty thingies were pretty fancy, and the muffins were great. So you know,
Muffins. Right.
you should try them. They're fantastic. Do they have them here, or is
Unfortunately, no. Griffin's more for the heartier of foods, unfortunately.
alright?
Although, you can go to the Felshire Isles. They are very good for their pastries.
The Fellshield.
Oh, to the east, the islands, home of the tieflings, and some of the
Oh,
more exotic races.
Aye, where the princess is from and that kind of stuff. Aye.
You've met the princess.
Well,
One.
kind of. Seraphina's chatted with her. I was just kind of in the general vicinity rather than.
Oh, the one that came as the ambassador.
Aye, yeah, the tournament thing and when we saved the king's life from, assassination and all that.
Hmm. Oh. Ah. Your broken compass.
Aye, that'd be us.
I was told it was a masked paladin and a dwarf that saved the king.
They would be the pointy end of the compass. I'm more of the fisty part. That came out really wrong. And I was doing really well at just casually slipping in the fact that we're awesome.
I think you need to work more on your HR skills.
I have people for that.
Mm. The spiky end, I imagine.
No.
Anyway, down here.
No, we've got a cleric.
Mm. And he's walking down the stairs while taking you. It's a rather narrow set of stairs, almost kind carved into the stone itself. It's lit very gently with light stones in the ceiling, but the walls are completely stone, carved all the way down for probably around 80 feet, just stairs going downwards. The cleric of the Sunny Temple of King's Arch.
Aye.
I went there once, got my hair done. Way too many bows.
That's not a problem that I tend to have, to be honest.
I'm sure they could do something with the back. And here it is. As he comes around the corner at the bottom of the stairs. And the stairs open up into this. The scale is something you can't really take in from just one look, as it's almost like that scene of The Matrix of just the lines and lines of aisles of stuff. But this is just rows of stone, which go possibly even for a mile, you're not sure. As you look one way and you just see the columns, and then you look the other way and you see more columns, and you look ahead and it's just this aisle of stonework, which you can just about make out an end in front of you, and above is a pretty low ceiling. However, there is again light stones placed almost in perfect symmetry down parts of it, like almost like landing lights down parts of the aisles, and sets of ladders and these floating discs moving about down the aisles. Some of them actually
floating discs like they were in the warehouse at the...
Yes, actually.
Okay.
And on them, some of them are actually carrying these slates of tablet.
Okay.
Of about 4x4. The Rune Library. Never got to experience fully when I was here last.
I imagine it'd take a while.
It was mostly for pleasantries last time. Well, I know what information I'm looking for here. What are you looking for?
I just look at Serafina because she knows what we're looking for.
Drow? And the word they used for a friend. Harande?
Harambe? What?
Heralde. The rough translation to common would be herald, although that's quite a bastardization of the word, I would say. If you want to take a more literal approach of the word, it's more for bringer or harbinger. Did you say the drow use this?
I don't remember that word, so...
It was like 5 weeks ago.
Yeah, when did that happen? Because I don't remember... I was like... I was busy punching people. So, I mean...
Aaron. Well...
D, do you remember?
I don't think you did hear it. I think if the more heard, he told you.
Yeah.
The rest of them.
That's what they kept calling me, I think, is what Ithelmore had said, but because I don't remember us having been around for it.
No,
Was
you weren't
that-
around, but you did say it to you guys. So
Was that in like part 2 or 3 of
no,
last week?
that was.
No, that was when we actually rescued him.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember it either, if it helps. But I'm pretty sure it was something he told us.
Oh, fair enough. Okay, so Harambe.
You're
okay.
welcome. Harambe.
That's what I
Pronounced.
said.
Yeah,
Harambe,
sure.
that's what I said.
Sure.
Alright.
Well, if you were looking for that information, you're not going to have too much luck. Generally, the dwarves don't like keeping information about drow in their records.
Do they like keeping information about dragons? Or monk temples?
Slaying of dragons, yes.
Well, you know. Is there like a beginner's guide to slaying dragons or something?
It's mostly the stories and tales of some of the paragons of the past. That would probably be... Actually, honestly, I wouldn't know. I would have to do a thorough research of my own.
Is there some kind of librarian that...
Well, that would be Fothras. Who I can't hear or see at the moment. We should probably split and look for him.
Alright, well, what does he look like?
Well, he's a dwarf for one, so...
That doesn't really narrow it down on this continent.
Down here it will be. He's the only one who looks after the records down here.
Fair enough.
It's one of their traditions for the Copper Runs. Every generation. Well, I'll head this way. You guys head that way.
Does he look like Benedict Wong by any chance?
Who?
The librarian from Doctor Strange.
Oh. No.
Okay.
I was like, is there any semblance? No, not really. He's a dwarf with a really, really long beard.
Okay, so he's not a short-haired, clean-shaven Asian man then. Okay.
That is...
Mildly disappointing, but not surprising, I guess.
No. Asian dwarfs, not really a thing.
Right, that's my next character.
Yeah. I look forward to the accent you put on for that one.
No,
Um,
no accent, because that would get precariously.
So you guys head in which direction? It'll probably be the opposite direction, I imagine.
Yeah.
Give me some investigation checks. I'll do 2 for them because why not? Let's see if you guys can find him. Okay. Okay then. So you guys head to the left. Arcantile heads to the right. And you very quickly lose sight of each other. Just behind the amount of walls of stone there are. And you notice that all these stones have tablets of some sort placed on them. And the further to the left you travel, there's a very slight difference you can tell from the stone itself. It's definitely more worn. And even the material starts to change very slightly.
I'd like to just, as I'm noticing this, have a look at the... Like, are there any titles or signage or anything around for...
Like on the aisles themselves?
Yeah.
Um,
Or, like, the names on covers of... Well, on the rune tablet thingies.
Occasionally. It's not on all of them. It's almost every 3 or 4 there's a number.
Okay. Are the numbers increasing or decreasing?
They would be decreasing.
Okay. And like, if I look at the actual, if I just like glance at some of the tablets or whatever, like, is there a theme? Like, does it look like the number corresponds to a particular category, or is it just like
Give me an intelligence check.
uh,
Yeah.
that's just clicking on the thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I'll do one for Seraphina. See if she figures out. Oh, okay, yeah. As you're looking at this, Seraphina looks up as well to see what you're looking at. And pretty poignantly figures out these are years.
Okay.
It was hard to figure out immediately from just the random every 3, but from the number it's going down by, it looks like it's literally going down every 5 years.
Okay.
And currently it's still in the 3,000.
When we reach the isle that's about when Ulan would have been born, Ulan's gonna casually wander off in that direction.
You'd actually have to go the other direction.
Oh, is
For
it
more
like...
recent, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Because
never mind.
currently the year is 4,000, and
Oh,
I
right.
think I said
right.
4,081,
Okay. Never mind then.
and you guys are currently in the 3,070, was 3,700 ish range. So
Okay.
you're out 300 years in the past currently.
I guess we'll keep looking for Cypress then.
If you do look on some of the random ones, you do read that there's a few, some very few interesting passages discussing the Elven Empire. But you keep on going, and eventually you do find what looks like a dwarf, currently huddled over what looks like a stool, and leaning against one of the shelves, completely knocked out.
Knocked out?
Well, asleep.
Oh,
As,
okay.
you
Okay.
also notice he has a flask of ale at his feet, which is a little empty.
Okay. I'm going to put a hand on my amulet, and I'm going to use Druidcraft to make the smell of smelling salts under his nose.
All right then. uh, it just sits completely upright, and you see this long drawl of saliva go through his beard all the way down, and his beard's rather long.
I'm gonna really slowly back everyone up out of the aisle, and then walk around the corner again as if I've just arrived. Hello there. Would you be Sulphurous by any chance?
Hello, I am Fulcrus. Why? And he starts like wiping his face.
You're exactly the dwarf that I'm looking for.
What
Well, unless there's many of you with the same name. I have no idea. It might be a really common name. Are you the, librarian?
I am the librarian of down here.
That's fantastic.
What?
A half elven chap said that you'd be the person to talk to help us find some stuff in this magnificently enormous library of yours.
The um, you're looking. What are you looking for?
Well, quite an assortment of things actually. We have many questions, but we're not entirely sure what answers you might have. We're looking for information about the Drow.
Hmm.
Looking for information about, I don't know, dragons, about the Emerald Sea and the Elven Empire there, about, I don't know, monk temples, the Outer Plains, all kinds of stuff, really.
Is the rune library?
Aye.
Find things about dwarven civilization down here. No.
Okay, okay, fair enough. How about information about the excavations that have been going on?
Excavation.
What's the thingy that I'm like,
The new tag.
that thing? The Gesundheit, whatever it was called.
Tide of Morden.
That sounds about right.
Yes, there would be. And he starts rubbing his head, like he has probably some type of hangover. Which are we in? Um, 200 years back, you will find something on the tag itself. I assume. Why? Who sent you?
Well, we're here on behalf of the King's Guild from Griffin.
What? Why does the King's Guild want anything to do with what's down here?
Oh, it's kind of a long story. It involves people being abducted from across the sea by drow.
That's got to do with us what?
Well, we're trying to find information about what they might want, what might be going on. They tried to sneak him off through some kind of weird magical underground door thing, which seemed very strange. So, and yes, it is, but I can't remember names.
Go look what you're finding for. You said Arcantile. I shall find him.
I think he went that way.
Yes, I'll look for myself. This is my library.
Is he wandering off, or
And he wanders off down the main aisle.
what is left where he was asleep?
A stool.
Just like a stool. He wasn't like reading anything, or he was just sat there.
He was just sat there.
Did he take his booze with him?
No.
So it's still there.
It's still technically there, yes.
I will bag of holding it.
Okay. Mark down one empty flask.
Alright.
Well, dwarven flask. Important. It's like different liters.
You never know. Worst case scenario, we break it down into components to build our settlement. Wait, no, that's Fallout.
Alrighty then. You guys go and look down the aisles, looking for the one that was 200 years earlier. Yes. Yeah, give me intelligence, not intelligence, investigation. As you can't really pick up these slates, they're rather heavy. Good thing you have the little people with you.
Yeah, well.
Wow, that's like a 20 something and an 18. Okay. Yeah. With you just like lifting them up to look at the different tiles.
Oh god, I'm the dad.
Yep.
Dad, I want to see what's on the top shelf.
Well, you could have also just grabbed them a ladder, but unfortunately, you guys are way too.
We know how this works.
You go with what's simple. Yeah.
Ilan is a walking, talking junk watcher.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you notice a few interesting points talking about an original. It wasn't much of a temple, but it was more of a sanctuary as a place for worshippers of Moradin, which was then lost to the darkness of the roads underneath.
And this is the Tig thing.
It's very unclear, but it definitely does correlate with what's there, yes.
Okay. Are there any... So is literally this entire thing is just like rows and rows and rows of stone tablets with runes carved in them?
Yeah, pretty much.
So there's no maps or pictures?
Oh no.
Oh god, well, okay. Well, Elon's completely lost interest then.
This is very much literal fragments of knowledge that have been passed through slates.
Alright.
Stone, it doesn't wear away very fast. Unlike paper, parchment.
Well.
And yes, it goes back pretty far. You can just about see where the starting point is at this point. Where it looks like it starts around the year 3000.
Not much has changed, but they live underwater, right?
I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks like it starts roughly around 3000. Okay. It's the first couple slates.
Okay.
But yeah, you do see some other passages discussing the loss of some of the roads to the sea itself, and fissures deep on the ground, causing landslides and lava flows.
Okay.
That's what you find there.
Hmm. I'm not really sure what else we're looking for, to be honest. Because, like, I'd be looking for pictures and maps and, you know, that kind of stuff, but we're not going to find that there, so...
You're mostly going to find fragments of people's memories. Stories and such.
Yeah. And it's like, related to the dwarves, not to anything else, so, I mean...
Not really, unless it was in relation to the dwarves. So, as you saw the excerpt from the part that discussed the Elven Empire, it didn't really much discuss them in detail, but their affecting situation on the dwarves. Of movement of the stones and various currencies of trade. Yeah. So you gonna walk around looking for anything else, or you gonna try and find the way out?
I guess like we'll head back towards a now direction, and like head towards the era from when. Well, I have absolutely no clue how old Ithelmore is, so that doesn't really help.
Well, you know he's of elf descent.
So he could be anything from like 20 to 2000 for all I know.
Sure, your elf knowledge isn't actually that great, so
Yeah.
sure, let's go with that.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure whatever even came. So like OAC wise, I don't know if there's something I'm supposed to be looking for.
That's pretty much what the other two think as well.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
It was on a hunch more than a definite.
I want to head to like the newest stuff,
Okay.
like the last most recent things, and just like look, maybe skim some stuff over the past decade or so and see if anything leaps out.
Sure. You would have to go like right to the other end, pretty much.
Yeah.
Sure. While you do that, the other two who are heading towards the smithing district, it's a pretty standard fare of shops, other small smithies themselves, selling wares of armors, weaponry, which are pretty sparse. Usually they're pretty open to the amount of things they're selling. Here doesn't look like there's much on sale. It looks like there's a half dozen in the way of weaponry and sets of, you would say, not really the best looking armor. As you go through to the direction where Shay pointed out was this stranger smithy area, you reach the edge of the town, which is, for the town itself, very vacant. There is a few other stores around, mostly residential for the smithies, and one building that seems to go into the floor itself and underneath the wall.
Floor and underneath the perimeter wall?
The perimeter wall, yeah. Which is a strange hovel kind of thing, as a set of stairs go into the stonework. And you can see small chimneys coming out.
Like it.
Due to...
Head that way, I guess, unless Ithelmore's got another idea.
And as far as sounds lead.
Fair enough. Alright, you two head down the stairs. And it opens up pretty quickly into a small little room of, again, very sparse looking weaponry, of a couple swords and axes, a few mauls to the side, and a couple sets of armor, which again aren't in full, isn't a full set. It looks like it's just pieces that have been left behind. And down the way you see it's a strange kind of archway, high enough for anyone to get through it, and far too wide for an actual doorway itself. And the cliff face of what is the edge of the actual city itself. And as you guys walk in a little bit more, you can see by the cliff edge itself, tools have been laid out. There's an anvil, which looks like it's to the side. And you can actually hear the dripping of water coming down from above, which you guys can figure out is coming from the glacier above.
Okay. But no dwarves?
You don't hear any noise. Give me a perception, both of you. You're not as perceptive. Evermore, though, you do hear. It's odd because you usually, when you think of a blacksmith, you hear pinging of metal against metal. Here, it was very subtle at first, but now that you've heard it, you can hear the scraping of stone against metal, and it's in very short intervals of just.
Can I tell what direction it's coming from?
It looks like it is coming from the cliff face itself, off to one of the sides.
I point in that direction and say, I think it might be over here, Sarah.
Go that way.
As you guys lead the way, you come to the actual archway itself, and then you can actually see the full smithy area of what looks to be a full blacksmith area to both sides. However, there is one lack of an actual forge, as there's no heat coming from anywhere. And to one side you see a dwarf bent over, sitting on like half a stool, with a sword in a hand and currently hunched over it. And you can hear the very slight screeching sounds again. Just
I'll call out hello.
screeching stops. Hello?
Sorry to interrupt. We were directed this way.
Customers? Customers. As a female looking dwarf face, with singed hair pretty much everywhere. On her chin, on the side of her head, on her actual head, of short orange hair, which is just completely singed on the tips.
So it's Junkrat.
Pretty much. I didn't really expect customers down here at this time. What can I help you with?
We found something peculiar, and we were told you might be able to help us identify it.
I don't know who told you, but I can give it a shot. What is it?
We took this dagger off of a drow priestess. And I've not seen its like before.
Can I see it?
Yes, I will hand her the dagger.
I haven't actually had the chance to see much in the way of drow metal. She takes off her actual leather gloves she was using and puts the blade to one side. And looking at it, you can actually see she's engraving something into the actual metal itself. You can't tell what stone she used for it, but it has a peculiar light to it. Can I look at it?
Yep, I'll hand it to her.
Is unlike any of the metals. It's almost like the Philesian steel with different ores in it. From a priestess, you got it from?
Yes.
I imagine you're wondering about this hole here.
I thought it might be something for poisoning the blade, but there were fragments of glass in it.
The design is very much purposeful. I would say we're looking at some type of magicite stone, but it does also have a vein running through it. Which would give you the assumption that it could use some type of venom, but I would have to ask the smithy who made this, and I ain't talking to no drow, but and she holds up into the light. It's not a bad blade. What did you want me to check it for?
We're wondering if there was anything to it. It seems to be a solid, decent blade, but if there was any special purpose to that hole aside from just anything you could think of, the usual manner of, venom delivery, but that...
The only other difference I could come up with would probably be some use of stone implements as the centerpiece. Magicite or the like could be useful. Might try that. You can have it back.
OOC question. Can magicite be used in a liquid form?
You have no idea. Yeah, you really wouldn't have any idea. It would be interesting if there was a way.
That would both explain the glass shards and the veining, if it's because it seems a little too ornate and large for just your average way to poison a blade, at least to Saren.
That would be my guess as well.
So we'll hang on to it, but Curious.
Thank you for showing me it. I have a few ideas of my own now.
Happy to help. Thank you for your time.
As she goes and grabs her blade again, and the blade warms the edge. She pulls out something and begins scraping into it again.
I'll
Do
get it
come
for
and
more.
buy something next time.
We will. I'll look at it for more and just shrug and motion that we should go, unless he's got something else.
I just shrug and follow her.
All right.
Huh.
Interesting theory.
Fair enough. In that case, Ilan, you going down to the other end, do hear a faint conversation as you start going down to the now section of the library. How far do you say you're going up?
I want to start looking in like. I don't know. I guess within Ulan's lifetime.
Okay. It's a little bit of a walk to get all the way to the end, but you do get to a point which is roughly around your birth age, or what you can imagine is your birth age at least.
Yeah.
Do you just begin looking at some of the stones, or?
Yeah, I'm just kind of like skimming things as I walk past.
Okay. Okay. The first passage you managed to look out for seems to be talking about the dwarven clearance of the underroads for reformatting and refurbishing them. Specifically looking at ones that travel under parts of these seas
Okay.
to either the isles nearby or further.
Or further.
Or further.
How further is further?
It's not very clear. It just says to forebearer. To our forebearer years.
Sorry, say that again?
To our forebearer years.
I'm gonna make a mental note of that.
Or write it down. Either way helps.
yeah, no, like me as a person is gonna write it down, but Ulan's gonna make a mental note of it. So what was the phrasing again? It's like
refurbishment and clearance of the underroads to the near isles and further to those of our forebearer years. No. Forebearers.
I would speak, but I'm currently doing the thing where you poke the tongue out the corner of your mouth while you're concentrating.
Do you keep on looking around? Going through?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. You randomly look upon another one, and do you stay in the same aisle or do you move further up?
Well, I'm systematically gonna like weave backwards and forwards, guess. I know it's gonna take a long time, but
because you could spend probably a couple of days just looking at a couple of these. If you're looking in the next aisle, you could.
yeah,
look
I'm like skim reading. I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
You look at the next one in the next aisle, and it looks like it's discussing the current marriage of the Valesian king and the position he's put himself in between him and the accordant.
The accordant?
Yes, the accordant.
Do I know what that is?
Give me a history.
Because if not, he's gonna assume it's his mistress. Because it said position and between.
6. Yeah, you definitely think that.
It says a 14 on my screen.
Does it? Oh, it says 6 on mine.
Yeah, no, like the dice is a 14, but it says 6 for the result.
Nah. That's at an angle, son.
Nice.
Yeah. Your diplomacy knowledge is not one of the greatest.
Like, I'm really confused about what all of these dwarven marriage rituals have to do with accordions, but...
Accordant, but sure.
Yeah.
And discussing the amount of fees that would be involved. Very much a financial slate.
Okay.
Financial slate. You go on to the next one, even earlier. And it's pretty recent at this point. It's probably looking between 10 years from what you can remember. As it's discussing a ceremony of Griffin and Aram having a solid plan of movement and the connection of their underroad.
Okay.
Which is still rather fragile.
So there is an underroad connection to the Halfling continent, please.
Yes, it's an island, but sure.
Well, yeah, big island.
It's like Britain. It's like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You go into the next one even earlier. Later.
So what, did they recently have a referendum to leave the Griffin Union or something?
It just hadn't been finished, and it was kind of
Okay.
like a opening ceremony of it being finished.
Okay, so opening ceremony of the Channel Tunnel. Okay.
Basically, yeah. You go to the next aisle, and it's actually discussing the new throne keeper of the Four Charts.
Okay, what does it say about them?
Being placed in power, it's almost like a tabloid, as it's not actually anyone's actual statement, but just of an opinion of some person that's good enough to be put in here, discussing that the Four Charts are strong of heart and will, and occasionally think more emotionally than other dwarves.
Okay.
And that Magni is one of the betters.
Okay. Does he have a brother called Modai?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, that's a shame.
You keep on going, and you can actually hear the whispers actually turning more into actual talking at this point of both Folthras and Arcantale.
I would like to eavesdrop.
Okay. But as you're doing that, you're reading the other one, which is talking about the reconnection of the outer dwarf families, including the Reichenhaus,
Mm-hmm.
and the Hammer Furies.
Hammer Furies.
Which seem to be one of the families which are also from Berlin. And then give me a perception check.
Did that click? Yes, it did.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Listening in on their conversation, you can hear Phosphorus saying there isn't really anything with that sort of information. If you're looking for something about those sorts of books, you're more likely to find information firsthand than from the records. Those sorts of things have been taken off the records.
Dun, dun, dun.
That's fine. I will go under myself and see what I can find. If not, I'll find my way back. And Arcantile walks back into the main aisle with Phosphorus following.
I would like to, once they're out of sight, sneak over to where they were just standing and see what they might have been reading.
Okay. Give me an investigation. I should do it at advantage because they'll be assisting. Alright. 14. You do at least manage to figure out from roughly what they were talking about. I'm going to do a random and see which one of the tablets you do read. Okay. You just read about one discussing irregularities in creatures from underground, saying about some of them aren't from where they're meant to be from and not inhabitants. Students, where are you?
I will, sneak into the next aisle. So that it doesn't look like I'm coming out from the one that they were just in.
Give me a stealth check. Alright then. You.
Hold on.
That's one of the few things I'm good at.
Yeah.
We're going to be leaving now. I have to leave for Mortha. Phosphorus, it's been a pleasure. Next time I stay a couple of days longer and you can show me through the records. Did you manage to find everything you were looking for?
No, but we found everything that was here, so.
I certainly doubt that. You haven't been here longer than an hour.
Well, true. We found what we were directed towards, put it that way.
Ah, fair enough. Let's be on our way then. Don't have much light down here. And I've no light in closed spaces.
Ulan is just gonna casually reach into the bag of holding and hand him one of the spare light stones.
Oh, that's fine. And he flicks his hand, and a medallion on his shoulder glows with light.
Ulan will put the light stone back in the bag of holding.
As a unit of the arcane arts, we all have to have our ways.
Aye, well.
As you guys head up the stairs, I can tell. Before you go, do you need anything else from me, or is actually, it's fine. What did you want to say? These people here are reasonably enough able to keep quiet about some things. Yes?
Aye, what? We won't tell anything, anything, even.
See? What did you want to say, Thorstrus? It's fine. Just if you are going into the deep lands, do keep out of the conflict down there. There's been rumors.
The conflict.
Yes, the conflict. No, that is fine, Vophorus. I'll be fine. If anything, I'll just disappear. If that's all, let's go. And he leads you back up the stairs to the exit, which is still there as the archway of black. And he steps through.
Ulan holds his breath and then follows.
The other two hop through after you, and you're immediately outside the tower. You look behind you and it's smooth stone.
That's really weird.
I've always wondered why they even built the tower in the first place.
Well, why did dwarves do most of the things that dwarves do?
Good point. To show off.
Aye, pretty much. And to compensate for whatever.
Well then, I'll be on my way. It was a pleasure briefly travelling with you. And I do hope you find what you're looking for.
The feeling's mutual. Just quickly before you go though, since you're more knowledgeable about this city than we are.
I have to be.
Well, the kind of knowledge that we're looking for, obviously we mentioned it briefly to you. Is there anywhere else we might find that? Any other repositories of knowledge or wise individuals or temples of gods of wisdom?
Unless you want to go to the source, you're out of luck.
The source?
You want to find out about Drows?
Oh, fair enough, eh? The problem is we don't even know where to start looking for him. Aside from ambling around in the underroads and hoping we come across them. Which is a wee bit counterintuitive, to be honest.
I don't usually tell people this is the best course of action, but going into the heart of danger may be your best source.
Aye. That usually seems to be the way with us.
The Taig that the dwarves are fighting over is currently being held by the drow themselves. For how long they've been down there, well, it would have to be a while if they've been holed up down there for this long.
Huh.
I would even call it a dwarven structure at this point, I imagine.
That's very interesting.
Words of wisdom. Now, I should be on my way. And he gives you a elegant bow, spins and heads towards the eastern exit.
Ulan waits until he's out of earshot and then just like does this triumphant sigh and it's just like, well, that was a bloody waste of time, wasn't it?
I'd say it was, but we met him, I guess.
Aye.
And he seems to know more than he's letting on.
So does pretty much everyone we meet, to be honest.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna give Savant a suspicious look and then say nothing. And head off in the direction of where we're staying.
I'm just gonna roll to see if he does. Is his insight good enough? Oh! Okay then. You guys head off, as well as Seren and Ithamore, which would then eventually regroup back at the inn. And we'll take a break there as you guys arrive back at the Glimmering Ram.